Welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll talk about how we can leverage your breath work to maintain emotional balance during your workouts. We all know how crazy it is when you're pushing that PR or doing progressive overload or running for that 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever you're doing. There's an emotional component to it. So we'll talk about it, how we can mix breath work with emotional balance. So definitely stick around. All right, so let's get right into the video. Now, when we always talk about this type of stuff, we want to always get the baseline understanding so we can build from there, right? I know when I learn, I have to know what the foundations are, so that way when we're talking about like 50 orders down the road, I can still pull it back to that so it makes sense to me. Now, in the context of breath work and emotional balance, we always want to reference alpha. What is alpha, right? The alpha state of a human being. Think of that as the peak performance, peak optimal genetic potential of a human. Most of us don't achieve it because we get stuck in what I would say the luxury lifestyle, right? This lifestyle where we barely move, we're very sedentary, we have our food, we have all the luxuries of life just come into us. So as a result of that, we end up letting go of ourselves. And we end up stacking more weight to our body, we end up moving less, becoming sedentary, and not having the lifestyle that we actually want. So for us to achieve alpha state, we have to think about 3 specific cores: movement, metabolism, mindset. Movement, metabolism, mindset. We always keep touching on these 3 topics because when you combine all 3 of them, make it into one, what you realize, you get optimal genetic potential. So we talk about metabolism, we talk about mindset in a host of videos that you can go ahead and find in the channel. But today we want to double click on movement, specifically breath work. Blood flow, you can also go take a look at other videos for blood flow. Breath work though is super important because again, it's almost like the foundational aspect of you. You would not be alive right now if you're not breathing, to be honest with you. Try right now. See how long you can go without breathing. Most of us have this innate response that if we don't have enough air and we know we can get air, we will take in the air, like we'll gasp for air, right? Think about when you're in the water and you don't have enough oxygen, you end up going, you gasp for air. And we'll actually do a little exercise in a bit where we do breath together because I always want to establish what the baseline looks like before we move forward. So what is breath work, right? What is the breath? Breath work is just a continuation of what breath is. How do you actually consciously breathe so you get that energetic requirement that you actually want? And for you to get that, think about exactly how you actually breathe. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath together, whatever that means to you, right? Go ahead, I'm gonna exaggerate with you so it makes sense. So take it in and then let it go. Right? Most of us are breathing from the top of our lungs. We're not actually leveraging our full potential when we're doing the breath. What we're doing is very shallow breathing. The top upper lobes probably get 20 to 30% of oxygen from your body, from the environment into your body. And that's not optimal, right? That's why many of us feel tired. And let's compound that. Let's think about the average worker right now. The average office worker, that's a desk worker, computer worker. What are we doing? We're hunching over, right? Our whole body is hunching over. And when it's hunching over, we're not getting enough capacity in our lungs, really. So if we just did a breath and we exaggerated that breath, we got 30%. Think about these guys or the girls. They're probably getting 10 to 15%. As a result, think about the second order, third order, fourth order consequences of these things. What happens is they end up not having a lot of energy. They feel tired all the time. They feel like, emotionally unstable because, like what's going on. They take a lot of supplements, they take a lot of caffeine, drugs, et cetera, to give them that jolt, right? We always talk about that jolt. It's a great feeling, but it's temporary. We got to keep taking it, which is why we're going to talk more about it and how to actually properly breathe. So we're going to do a little bit of exercising together, very simple. I would probably say this is the bare minimum activity any human can do because it doesn't really require much. So let's go ahead and put our right hand on our heart, left hand on our belly. And what we want to do is we want to exaggerate the belly. So we want to inhale from the belly, exaggerate the belly, and then bring that air up into your upper lobe. So inhale, like expand the belly, rise the chest. So when you fully capacitate it, think about what happens. You're getting maybe solid close to 80 to 90% of oxygen because of the fact that you're putting conscious effort in expanding your belly, pushing the diaphragm down, allowing your lungs to expand fully, getting that oxygen, and then doing whatever else with it. So let's get started. I'll do 2 with you just to show you how it works, and then we'll do 5 together so that you can get the therapeutic benefits. So let's go ahead and expand the belly and rise the chest. So expand the belly, rise the chest, and then you want to let it go. All right, again, expand the belly, rise the chest, really get all there, and then let it go. So what it is, it's a biphasic inhalation and uniphasic exhalation. So you're taking in, you're expanding the lungs first, so you're getting the lower lobes filled with oxygen, and then when you take in more air, now you're filling the top lobes, and then when you let it go, you want to fully contract out, or like, you know, really relax your diaphragm so you're able to fully exhale and get the carbon dioxide out into the environment. And this tree in front of me will get my carbon dioxide and I'll get its oxygen in return, right? What a beautiful game. Infinite game with this tree I can play. So we'll do 5 of these. At the 5th one, notice your, I guess, your sense of presence, right? You'll notice my presence right away. I'm a little hyper right now because obviously I'm recording a video, but you'll see that when I'm not gonna ruin the surprise. So let's go ahead. Let's put our right hand on our heart, left hand on our belly, and let's take 5 deep breaths from our belly, right? And 3, 2, 1. One. 2. 3. 4. Last one. 5. How do you feel? Hopefully you feel good. Some of you might feel a little tired, sleepy, you might have yawned. Some of you might have like laughed or cried or had some sort of emotional reaction. If you were tired or felt sleepy, all good. That just means we gave you a lot more oxygen than you normally get from normal breathing. So it just sort of knocked you out for a little bit. But all good, it's just repetition. Practice makes perfect, and in this case, when you breathe more consciously, when you take in more oxygen from the environment, you're gonna allow yourself to heal a lot faster, so your capacity will actually increase. But notice how you feel right now though. Like, we could talk about the science, but just how do you feel right now? Do you feel present? Do you feel in the moment? Yeah? Okay, that's the goal. Because all of this, everything that you do in your life is always for some future event. It's hard for us to live in the moment. I mean, I don't know about you, especially for individuals that are very, very gung-ho on making and achieving their goals. You know, we're always living in the future. So we're thinking about the past, you know, we're always trying to think about, okay, what do we do? How can we improve? And then we think about the future, okay, where do I want to be? And so it's hard, I know for me personally, it's hard to be in the present moment. Even now, the fact that I'm doing this video, I mean, it's forcing me to be in the present moment, but I also got to think about, oh, what am I going to say? How am I going to entertain you guys? What do I need to do to give you value? So many thoughts are going through my head. So it's hard being in the present moment. And when you're in the present moment, it's a very sweet spot to be in, because it doesn't matter what happens right after this, because it's happening already. You're here right now, you're experiencing it, and it's a great, great feeling. So that's my gift. That's a surprise. That's my gift to you, to bring in the present moment. So anytime you feel overwhelmed, anytime you feel not like out of place, just come back to the present moment. Take a few deep breaths. You know, I've practiced with a breath, I practiced with 3 breaths, I practiced with 5. 5 seems to be the number. Anywhere between 5 to 10. Find your number. Once you find your number, you can always leverage that ability for you to breathe. And you'll be in the present moment. You'll realize there will be a pattern interrupt in what you're doing, how you're thinking about things, and you'll be able to just act upon it based on now. Great. Now that you understand breathwork, right? Breathwork is consciously breathing, because we're always breathing unconsciously, but when you consciously breathe, what does that look like? And so I want to talk about how we can leverage this to balance your emotional well-being, right? Maintain your emotional balance while you're working out. So we all know when we work out, it's a very, I mean, depends who you are. If you're going into the gym, you know, dialed in, ready to hit that PR, then it can be stressful, right? It forces you to, again, hyper be in the present, because if you're not able to lift it, and if you lift it wrong, we're talking about injury, right? That's one thing that I cannot stress enough. Whatever you do, whatever you take away from my videos, I do not want you to get injured. Every single thing is going to require you to be in the present moment, fully aware, fully attuned to what's happening to you. So your emotional balance really comes into play, right? That breath work, when we talked about maybe you were laughing, maybe you were crying, we trap emotions in our body, right? When we go through some traumatic experience, or whether it be good experience or bad experience, there's certain parts of our body that always gets triggered when we have these experiences. And so your emotional balance really comes in, and you can maintain more of it is if you actually think about what is happening. What are you feeling? So if you were laughing, what memory sparked it? What about that breathing sparked it? So think about that as you are in the gym when you're about to work out. I'm gonna give you a fun story. Today I went to the gym, and my goal was, and by the way, I always do decline chest press. I'm at a stage right now where I've built my shoulders, I've built my arms, and I need to build this chest muscle, because for many years I've never really activated it. And when you don't activate it, it does its own thing, right? Like, it's automated already, so it's always trying to store fat there. A little bit of gyno happening, because again, I'm hunched over all day long. There's no real use case for it. So I've been really targeting. And I understand, from the perspective of building muscle and whatnot, you want to give a little bit of recovery. But what happens is when you accelerate the recovery, right? Like, most people say maybe wait a day or two, split your days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But if you accelerate your recovery by doing breath work, by massaging, by doing hot and cold therapy, by leveraging so many modalities, you actually recover much faster, almost like 3 times faster than normal. It's hard for people to realize that, but all good. So anyways, my point is, I'm hitting the chest press, right? My dream is to hit 100 pounds on each hand. And this dream has been going on for the last 3 years. I haven't seen a dude like me hit 100 pounds. Well, I actually did see a guy on YouTube press 100 pounds, shoulder press. That's not my dream. My dream is just lifting 100 pounds and pressing it. Shoulder press, sure, why not? I'll definitely go to it. But I want to hit 100 pounds. And for me, I realize that's the exercise right now that I know that I am confident to be able to push that weight. And so what I've been doing for the last probably 3 weeks is 90 pounds. Every single day, hitting 90 pounds, and I'm always getting stuck at the last one. I do 6 reps, 3 sets each. What am I saying? I do 3 sets, 6 reps each, and the 6th one is really what I'm trying to figure out, like, do I have enough energy to push that 6th one? So I've been doing it for the last 3 weeks, but what happens is when I do my 3rd set, I'm always hitting 5, right? What that tells me is I don't have enough energy in my body to be able to push that 6th rep. And, me knowing what I know, I understand that energy is actually ATP. In our body, when we need energy, we're leveraging ATP. And so you could say, hey, Shaq, you should take pre-workout. Hey, Shaq, you could take some Red Bull or caffeine. Hey, Shaq, take some coffee or something to get more energy. 100%, I could definitely do that. And I have tried, and it's definitely great. But what happens is it creates a dependence where you're using that placebo, like, oh, if I don't take that caffeine, I won't be able to do what I need to do. Granted, you can always take it, but I'm not trying to be relying on any substance, whether it be, and I have nothing against it. I will probably take it when I need to, but I've been very, I would say natural in my ability to go ahead and do these exercises because, again, conditioning, right? Every single day, doing the same thing over and over, you get better and better. It's just natural. And so now that when I'm doing that 90 pounds, I was looking for it today. I was like in the gym. I was like, okay, I'm ready. I warmed up. I did my abs and core and everything. I want to go ahead and find the 90. So I walked the whole gym. I couldn't find it. For some reason, it was either someone was using it or just not there. Or I don't know what happened to it. So what that did is it forced me to look above and beyond. And in this case, the next weight up or the weight down would have been 85 or it would have been 95, right? I've tried 95 probably once. I was struggling like no tomorrow, only did like 3 reps. So, but again, this is a different story at a different time, right? I came 3 weeks after from doing the 95s, and what ended up happening was I had said, you know what, forget 85s, it's super easy. I'm gonna go to 95s, whatever happens, happens. I'm super hyped, I'm super ready, let's make it happen. I get those 95s, not feeling the tension that I felt earlier. So that means 100% my body has created those mitochondria, replicated them because they saw there was growth there. And then now I'm able to generate more ATP per thrust, right? I consider a push a thrust, like you're thrusting it forward. And so what was really cool is, I found a new song. I was really vibing to it, like, energetic wise. And then I was like, all right, let's do this. So my emotional state, what did it have to be, right? Like a laser. It had to be like a laser. Because for me to lift that heavy ass weight, 95 pounds on each hand, right? We're lifting these bad boys up. We're doing a deadlift, essentially. We're doing a deadlift. And by the way, when you do a decline chest press, there's multiple movements in that one movement. Before you even, like, pressing it is the last step. Well, not really. You got to bring it back down and put. My point is, it's like in the middle. But getting started takes a lot of discipline, a lot of coordination, a lot of being in the present moment. So guess what do you think I'm doing? I'm breathing. I'm breathing all day. I'm putting my hand on my belly, not to look weird, right? I don't want to put my hand on my heart, hand on my heart, hand on my belly, and breathe while I'm in the middle of the gym. I still have that decorum, man. So what I'm trying to tell you is when you breathe like that, what ends up happening is you hyperoxygenate your cells. You get more energy. And when you get that more energy, I guarantee you will be able to lift. You will be able to push yourself beyond the normal of whatever you think is possible. And so let's tie it back, right? Your breath is super critical. It helps you maintain energy, gives you more energy, but at the same time, it allows you to push your body beyond its normal limits and pushes the emotional state that you have and equilibrates it, right? The key here is to be in a state of equilibrium at all times. It's a great feeling, feels good, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend being in that state at a certain time. With that being said, guys, if you found any value in the video, definitely hit the like button, letting me know you liked the video. If you dislike the video, all good. Dislike the video, let me know why in the comments so I can improve upon it. But what I really, really, really love to see are my subscriber count go up. You subscribing lets me know that, hey, Shaquille, you're getting value. Oh, I'm saying it as if like I was you. Hey, Shaquille, I'm getting value. I support you. Let me subscribe. I'll share with people that need it. And we'll go from there, right? We'll build together. As I am building myself, you are building yourself. We are all building ourselves. With that, again, my name is Shaquille. I'm part of Alpha. Our goal is to optimize you to your genetic potential. With that, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.